For printing, first we're going to gather up all the materials that we're going to be using for printing, and then we're going to make a template. So the template is going to help us know where to drop the paper down for printing, and you can just make a template on any kind of paper. Newsprint works, even computer paper works fine. But what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your pre-cut sheets. So this is the good paper, the mulberry paper, and I've already cut it in half for printing, and just put that down on top of the sheet that you'll be making your template, and then trace over with pencil just the corners of it so we get an idea of the size of the paper. And I just do that in pencil. Then you can move the paper out of the way, grab a ruler if you have one handy. If not, any kind of straight edge will work. And basically I'm just going to connect those little pencil marks to create a square outline for where I'll be dropping the paper. And this will help keep it even so that the paper has a pretty good even edge around the block. Okay. So that's the size of my paper. And then what we want to do is we want to take our block and roughly put the block as even as you can, so it's got equal space on the edges and equal space on the top and bottom. If you were going to give it any extra space, I would give it extra space at the bottom, but because we have so little margins on the top and bottom, I just try to keep it as even as possible. You can double check and you can measure to make sure that the two side spaces are even. What you could also do is just do the quick math of our block is 6 inches and our paper is 9 inches. So 9 minus 6 is 3 inches, and we need 2 equal spaces. So 3 inches divided by 2 is 1.5. So you could just mark 1.5 and 1.5, and then go up to the top and do the same thing. 1.5 and 1.5. And then connect those dots too. I know there's going to be about 1 inch or so on top and bottom, so you don't have to go all the way to the top and bottom. Alternatively, you can just place the block as centered as possible and then trace along those lines. I just like doing it the more accurate way of measuring and using math. So 4 inches wide versus 6 inches wide. So 6 minus 4 is 2. So it's going to give me 1 inch on the top and bottom. And then just connect those dots. You only really need to connect it where those other 2 lines are already marked. Okay. So this tells us where all of our margins go, and it's pretty nice and even on there. So when I go to print, I can put my block right in the center. After I've inked up my block, I'll take one of my good sheets of paper, and then I can just look and then drop it down on top where I see the outline of the sheet of paper around it. So that tells me where to put my paper.